Take us through your experience from being a nurse volunteer back home and now clinical nurse manager. Clinical nurse manager, congratulations. Did you ever feel you weren't good enough to apply for this post? I tried and then eventually I learned that, kaya ko rin naman pala. What's the meaning of success for you, and would you consider yourself successful already?
So it's Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Sabi niya, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So, always pray to God. God always wants the best for us. Lahat ng bagay na nangyayari sa buhay natin is part of everything that will better us in the future.
Paano na?
Topi mo.
Mag-coffee muna tayo kasi let's drink something.
Naghanap ako yung mga kopi ko.
Wala. So today guys, we are going to spend time with a nursing colleague and i-share na sa atin yung story niya dito sa Ireland, being a nurse. Nagpagkwentuhan lang tayo today with, can you introduce yourself? Javan Santa Cruz!
Hello. How will I greet them? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah, everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world.
My name is Japhet.
The
They
universe.
call me Japs. I'm a nurse here in Ireland now for 7 years. So I'm currently working in emergency department here in Clonmel. I worked in the Philippines since 2012 until 2016 and half of 2017. So started as a volunteer nurse for 6 months. Then I was able to get a proper job in 2013 as a staff nurse in Pampanga. I've been a staff nurse there for 2 years. I worked as an emergency nurse for 1.5 years, and then eventually I moved up to ICU. And then opportunity knocked. I was able to transferred to Manila. I was able to work in Philippine General Hospital as a private duty nurse in intensive care unit for almost 2 years. And then I actually, that time, on my application to UK.
To UK?
Yeah.
So paano nangyari yung application mo from UK napunta ka ng Ireland?
UK talaga ang aking plan. Pero dahil there's a delay on my papers that time, one of my friends told me to try Ireland. I actually have no idea about Ireland before.
Diba?
So I said, why not give it a chance? So I try Ireland, and I said, if this will work quickly, Ireland is actually for me. Then to my surprise, after my interview 2016, I got accepted and my papers got processed quickly. I got accepted June or July 2016. I'm supposedly coming here by December, but because I wasn't able to process it straight away, I came here around April 2017.
Take us back to 2017. Before you flew to Ireland, what was in your mind? Were you excited or were you afraid? Because this was your first job abroad, wasn't it? Take us back to 2017.
Yeah, to be honest, it's a mixed emotion. I don't know what to feel that time. I'm excited in a way because I know there's a great opportunity awaiting for me here. But on the other side, I'm also a bit, nervous because this is my first work abroad. I don't know what's going to happen. If they're going to like me here, if I'm going to like this place, or if I will be able to adapt properly. But before that, I want to tell the story as well before I went here. Because, that time, you have to shoulder some of the expenses.
Okay.
Before coming here, the agency will pay it back to you once you're here already. So we have to pay for our registration, of course, IELTS. And mind you, IELTS is one of the tinik sa lalamunan, they call it.
One of the hardest
part of applying abroad,
Yeah.
especially in an English-speaking country. It's not that easy kasi you have to practice. You have to go through hardships or, yung mga
for
times
taking the
na-
IELTS alone.
For taking the IELTS alone. And everybody who's in abroad can vouch for that.
Oh yeah. When you flew to Ireland, what was your first impressions of Ireland?
Being in Europe, not only in Ireland, there's actually, an element of
Excitement.
amazement,
Hello.
excitement, and you're amazed of how beautiful the place is. Kasi syempre, first time in Europe and you see how their system works. So, na-amaze ako on my first few months then. Well, actually, up until now, you can still recognize the beauty of this country.
What was the major differences that you observed coming from the Philippines? Being a Filipino here in Ireland.
To be honest, they're very disciplined here, especially sa road. And at the same time, very friendly yung mga tao dito.
Should we pack up? Eh?
Malakas na naman.
Biglang umulan eh. And we're gonna come back after the few commercials because it's raining. This is Ireland. This is how the weather is in here. So guys, we have to pack up outside. Pack up outside.
Tapos di na umulan.
Kasi umuulan. So we're gonna do
Tumigil yung ulan.
We're gonna do the interview here in the car. Then we were talking about the major cultural differences that you observed the moment you arrived in Ireland.
Yeah, I found them very friendly and they will not make you feel you are different from them, and they will try to help you in some ways to adopt. Because during our time, well, actually you have a choice whether you take the exam or you take the adaptation process. On my part, I did took the adaptation process. So I was an adoptee for 6 weeks. So adoptee means you're like a student nurse for 6 weeks, and then you have a preceptor, and then if they think that you're good enough, that you have adapted properly to the place and to the area that you are working with, they will sign you off, and that's the time that you will get your registration here as a nurse.
So just to be clear for the people who's watching, the nurses who's watching this now. So if you're doing the adaptation, guys, like para yung magkaroon ka ng, for example, sa Philippines, we have our PRC license. Here, we're going to have registration number or registration in their parang accrediting nursing body. Kailangan mong gawin yung adaptation. And then the time that you're doing the adaptation, you are paid as a student nurse, right? Student rate. So after you pass the adaptation and you get the PIN, that's where the rate based on your clinical experience will start. A few nurses were asking me, like, if you have any tips regarding how to pass the adaptation or how to do it smoothly, what will you say to them?
To be honest, there's no formula for that. It's up to yourself. That's why it's adaptation. You have to convince, or if that's the right term, but you have to keep in mind that you are here to work and you prayed for it to be here, so you have to do your best. So if there will be a greatest formula for that, is for you to do your best to adopt. When you say adopt, is for you not to follow your own ways before, but to do what they're doing here, and at the same time show them what can you contribute to the department at the same time. So if they see that you have this capability, the capacity to work with them, for sure you will pass the adaptation.
I think also it's important that before you come to Ireland, you have a level of competency already in the Philippines with regards to your nursing area, because you have to have that because otherwise you're gonna find it hard to start off.
Exactly, especially if you're not well versed to that area. So you will find it hard to adapt talaga. So make sure that if you got interviewed, you tell them the truth if you really have a good experience at such area, because they will do consider that.
Let us discuss how's your life during the first few months here in Ireland. Nahirapan ka ba to adjust with the weather, or were you homesick?
Life in Ireland, speaking of adaptation, you will not only adapt in the hospital, you also have to adapt in the environment itself. In what way? Food, the weather. Number one is the weather, of course.
Excuse me.
We're using the Philippines with warm and rainy weather, but here in Ireland, it always rains. You can never predict what weather would it be in a day.
The same as what's happening now.
Yes.
Sabi sa Google said that it's gonna be sunny from 6 a.m. to 12 noon, but now it's
raining.
And it's raining and it's 8:30.
It's usual here in Ireland to rain. Thank God as well with Filipino friends and families here. Kasi I never feel homesick because I felt at home here in Ireland kasi napakadaming Filipinos din.
What it's like working in the ED department in Ireland. Is there a work-life balance here in Ireland?
I'm actually blessed. First and foremost, I chose Ireland. I'm blessed that I chose this country, there's life here. No, you will only render 3 days a week of work. It's 12 hours duty, and then you have 4 days off most of the time. You can actually choose your own schedule. We have this so-called request book in our department that you can choose what day you want to work, and you cannot do that back home in the Philippines. Yun lang masasabi ko. Kasi,
So what is like, how would you define work-life balance? But before we do that, is it not raining? Oh, it's not raining. We can go outside now.
you go back again.
We can go back again.
You can actually travel even in your week off. Kasi dito sa Ireland, if you're doing night shift, they have this 1 week off that they do offer after your night shift. On our hospital, we do 4 nights, and then after your 4 night shift, you will be given a 1 week off. Then you will be back on another 3 nights. That's to complete your 7 nights.
Can you talk about, because not all people know about how to pursue the continuous education here in Ireland. If you want to study, for example, a postgraduate diploma course in your area or something else, I think like nurse, whatever, na iso-support ng hospital, how does it work?
First course here, I started on a postgrad certificate in Waterford in emergency nursing. Eventually, after a year, not even a year, a postgrad course was offered to me in Cork, in UCC, University College Cork. So I do enroll in my 2nd year, and thank God I was able to finish it and graduate on my master's degree. Recently, actually, just last year.
Sa mga studies na to, did you have to pay for it at some point?
You don't need to pay. That's the good thing here in Ireland. You know, the hospital, the HSE will shoulder everything for you. The hospital will apply for your funding, and then HSE will fund for your course. If you're going to pay for it, it will cost you around 7,000 to 15,000 euros. But it's all free. That's the good thing here. You know, in terms of masters, the only thing about that is you will pay it as half. You will have to pay for the half of it. I think it only cost me around 1,500 euro for the half of the course. It doesn't mean that you do masters or postgrad degree, you will get a position after. No, because you can apply for a position even if you don't have a masters or postgrad degree here. If you are competent enough for that position, you can get that position. But if you have postgrad or master's degree, that would be your edge, you know, to work. Kasi getting another degree here, sort of refreshing what you've learned, and at the same time adding up more knowledge to what you know already. So I think that's an asset for you, not only now or maybe in the near future
Later.
as well.
Like, take us through your experience, like from being a nurse volunteer back home, staff nurse, and now clinical nurse manager.
After I graduated on my master's degree, I was offered the job straight away. Then I grabbed it because, you know, if the opportunity knocks, why not? So being a clinical nurse manager here, of course, there's a challenge, but I do enjoy it in some ways that I can teach students, I can teach new staff, which I love doing. Because as a clinical nurse manager, that's part of our job.
At some point, did you ever feel you weren't good enough to apply for this post, or you're having like an imposter syndrome? If you did feel that, how did you deal with that kind of situation?
Honestly speaking, I do feel that. That's why I didn't apply for it straight away. So what I did to compensate on that feeling is I study. That's why I study a lot. I feel like if I study, that would give me the competence that I needed that time.
The confidence.
Confidence and, you know, confidence na kailangan ko that time na wala pa sa akin nun. So after I study, doon ko na-gain yun na I think kaya ko na kasi I did my study already. Experience-wise, you know, I've been here for 7 years now, so it's about time.
I was afraid na makipagsabayan na mag-aral sa university dito sa Ireland, you know, doing research, academic. Sabi ko parang, I don't think I can do it. Parang it's too hard, it's too big of a challenge for me.
But you tried.
And then, you know, I tried, and then eventually I learned that, you know, kaya ko rin naman pala. We can all do it if we just, you know, face our fears and set aside our parang mindset na hindi natin kaya. Kasi when you're in that position na, there's no turning back, just to, parang laban lang.
You will not know if you can unless you try. So, kasi pag nandun ka na, it's better for us to always challenge ourselves. If you remain stagnant of what you are, there's no growth. But if you keep challenging yourself to do new things, to experience new things, there's always a learning from it.
I want to ask you, what is your, what's the meaning of success for you? And would you consider yourself successful already in your own term? And yeah, why?
Everyone can define success on their own understanding or on their own, perception. Everyone can be successful in different ways. So, successful ka, masasabi ko, kung happy ka of what you have right now. It's a matter of being grateful. Gratefulness is in line with success. Kapag grateful ka kung sa anong meron ka, whatever you are, wherever you are right now, you can consider yourself as successful. Will I consider myself successful now? For me, in some ways, yes, but not yet. Yes and no. Yes, in a way na nandito na ako, which is I dream of working here before.
Well, in the UK.
Well, in the UK originally, but I'm happy here now. And then also I dream of, getting my degree, which I got already. So it's a yes and it's a no because I believe that there's more. And I don't want to keep myself on that. There's more success. Isipin mo, if we will only be grateful to what we had or what we have right now, what God has given to us, you will feel that, element of successes. Kasi iba, successful sila sa family nila kahit wala silang ganun karaming pera, pero masaya sila sa family nila. That's a success. Or successful sila sa career nila kahit wala silang family, pero masaya sila or happy sila sa career nila. That's a success as well. Success can be defined in a different ways. It depends on you, on how will you define success in your life.
That's a very good answer, actually. Just to sum up this interview, Japet, if you're going to advise our colleagues or our fellow countrymen about if they are thinking of moving or just considering to move in Ireland to work, whether as a nurse or not, kasi may mga occupations din na hindi nurses din. What are the advices that you can give to them?
What would I advise? So if you have a dream, if you have a goal, pursue it. Don't stop until you got that goal. I always have this life verse with me. Wow, life verse.
What's that?
So it's Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Sabi niya, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So always pray to God. God always wants the best for us. Na walang lahat ng bagay na nangyayari sa buhay natin is part of everything that will better us in the future. Maybe you stumble now, hindi mo man nakuha yung job na gusto mo, but there's a better coming or even best.
It's a very wonderful passage. Thank you very much for spending time with us here in the Nurse Ventura channel, YouTube channel, and also thank you for spending time in this wonderful but cold and rainy place, Mahon Falls. Later, guys, we're gonna take you there sa may falls na side. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. You are capable of doing whatever you want in your life if you put your heart and your mind into it. Trust the Lord and continue pursuing and achieving and believing in your dreams. So we'll see you on the next vlog. Bye!
Hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that